Hey guys, and welcome back to the Peteytown Piranhas College Football 26 Team Builder Dynasty. In this episode, we're going to be taking on Middle Tennessee, New Mexico State, and Delaware. Gage Johnson came on a visit in our previous game, and we did get that nice big boost for him to put him in first place for us. Hopefully on this week, Penn State doesn't get a big boost as well from their visit. So we're just kind of crossing our fingers now, hoping we can get the first 5-star in our program's history. We're going to step into our matchup with Middle Tennessee now. They're at a 65 overall to our 72, but they are having a very good season this year. They're 6-1 and 3-0 in conference play, so we got to take them very seriously, especially going into their place. Middle Tennessee is here on second down, and Petruccio DeLucchio is knocking them backwards to make it a third down and 17. Middle Tennessee's in some trouble right now, and they're going to get sacked again with Pete Mesquite. 2 straight sacks for the Peteytown Piranhas, and we're going to get off the field and get our offense in pretty good field position. The Piranhas are going to take over on Middle Tennessee's side of the field. Juju Johnson's going to stiff arm a guy to get himself 8 yards. We're going to hit a quick hitter over to Bianca Croning, who gets us the first down on a 5-yard gain. Pete Manning's got some time to throw back there, and he's going to throw an absolute dart. That's Pete Dinklage coming out in a 5-wide receiver set. Our most productive receiver from last season. He's taken a step back this year, but on that play, he got himself open, and Pete Manning threw a perfect pass to get him the touchdown. Beautiful pass, beautiful catch, just beautifully executed there by the Peteytown Piranhas. Play action here from Middle Tennessee. They're just going to hit their guy in the flat to get him just enough for the first down. Middle Tennessee throws it right over our heads to get to the 45-yard line. 3rd down and 8 for Middle Tennessee. They're going to see what they can find in the passing game, and they're going to find Petey McGee getting to their quarterback, and an absolutely fantastic pass rushing rep there for him, and the defense is going to get off the field once again. A pop pass is going to get complete to Bianca Croning, who has a big gain for us to get to their side of the 50. Not much happening on 1st and 2nd down, so Pete Manning and the boys are going to face a 3rd down and 7. We're going to send Juju in motion, and they're going to get a little pressure, but it doesn't get there in time, and Victor Snow fights his way for first down yardage. We're going to have a big motion for Pete on this play, and we're going to hit Bianca Croning over the middle for a nice completion for a first down. Pete Manning drops back, and he's going to get crunched in the backfield as 2 guys combine to bring him down. That sack puts us in a tough position here on 2nd down and 18. Pete Manning is going to find Pedro O'Toole wide open. He just blew right by their defenders there and found the soft spot in the zone, and Pete Manning delivered a strike. What a fantastic play, especially after that sack in the previous play, and the Piranhas are going to go up by 2 scores. Middle Tennessee is really struggling to find rhythm offensively, and our defense has just been all over them. Here they're going to try a motion, and it's going to be a screen pass, but we looked like we were going to be all over it, but he just ran right around our guys there, and they ended up getting a big play out of that. Handoff in the backfield, and Petey McGee is all over it for a 4-yard loss. Middle Tennessee's looking, and we're going to get to him again, and we're going to get the sack. I believe that was the freshman Charles Hardy on that one. Charles Hardy makes this a very difficult 3rd down for Middle Tennessee. They're on 3rd down and 17. They're going to look. He's going to try to scramble and find his guy, and he makes the jumping catch, and they get the first down. So what looked like it was going to be a nice stop for the defense ends up becoming a highlight play for Middle Tennessee. After that disappointing conversion, Middle Tennessee is going to come out here on our side of the field with a jet touch pass, and Peter Eris got him for a 3-yard loss. A short completion sets up 3rd down and 7 for Middle Tennessee from the 34-yard line. We're going to do a little play action. Our pressure's coming in again, and guess who it is? It's Petey McGee and Pete Mesquite combining for the sack, and this time we're going to get them off the field. Empty backfield here. Pete Manning gets rid of it quickly, but their guy read him like a book and got the interception, and that's the break Middle Tennessee needed to get back into this game. Pete Manning just got confused by the coverage there, thought he had his guy open, but their linebacker was there to make the play. So that interception sets Middle Tennessee up at the 25-yard line, and they're going to get a run up the middle for 6 yards. 3rd down and 4. They're in our red zone for the first time today. Let's see if the defense is up to the task, and they're going to hit a quick out and get themselves the first down. Middle Tennessee's quarterback's got the lane he needs, and he's just going to walk into the end zone. So that interception from our quarterback ends up being a very costly one as the Blue Raiders punch it in for the touchdown to make it a 1-score game. Let's see if Pete Manning can bounce back from that mistake on the last drive. It's 2nd down and 7 here. He's got all day to throw. He's going to launch it deep, and he's got a guy open, and it's Ray Joseph, and he makes the catch. Pete Manning bounces back from that interception and delivers an absolutely perfect ball to our star receiver, and he's going to dance on him. Just a absolutely humongous play for the Peteytown Piranhas, and we're back up 2 scores, 21-7. Just a beautifully thrown ball from Pete Manning. It hung in the air for so long, and Ray Joseph just beat those 2 guys who had no answer for him. Middle Tennessee's going to get around the edge and get themselves to 2nd and inches. Another outside run, but this time Peter Lightning sticks him in the backfield for a 1-yard loss. They're going to go with another outside run, and we just didn't have the speed. Anthony Kaufman was there, but he got caught flat-footed, and they'll get the first down. This time it'll be a pass for Middle Tennessee, and they float it over to their guy and manage to hit him for the first down. On our side of the field, it's a play action, and this time it sucks our linebackers in, and they hit them, and they're going to get all the way to the 24-yard line. From our 20-yard line, Middle Tennessee's on a 3rd down and 6. We're going to do a little motion action. We're going to do play action. And we can't get any pass rush in there, and he's got a wide open lane again, and their quarterback is going to rush in for his 2nd touchdown of the game. He's just been reading our coverages and deciding that his legs are the best option, and he's been right twice now. Ashton Daniels just making a fantastic play for his squad. 3rd down and 4. We got a bunch to the right. Let's see what we can get out of it. Juju's going to go in motion. Pete Manning's got some time again. He's going to launch it deep, and he's got Victor Snow, who makes the grab and gets it to their 43-yard line. Pete Manning is going to be decisive on this one, and Ray Joseph runs under it. A little floater from our quarterback. 2nd and short. Pete Manning's going to fire it out to Pete Ackler, who makes the grab for the first down. Pete Manning's going to survey and toss it, and he's going to make the catch. Juju Johnson makes the leaping grab to get it to their 4-yard line. Empty formation. This is always a tricky proposition this close to the end zone for us, and they're going to get in the sack. And just, it's always a risk-reward proposition for us. And if they ever bring more than 5 guys, it's almost guaranteed a sack, especially if our quarterback can't read the coverage quickly enough. Well, that time is ticking down now. We still have the timeout in our back pocket if we need it. And we will not need it as Pete Manning throws a strike to Pete Ackler, who runs a beautiful post route and gets open in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Pete Manning has been delivering some strikes. Pete Ackler came alive on this drive. And just a perfect throw. Nice catch by Pete Ackler. And we're going to get our 2-score lead back before halftime. So an added bonus to that late score touchdown is that we're going to start with the ball in the second half. And Pete, who's been a little quiet today, gets a nice run up the middle for a first down. 3rd down and 3 for the Piranhas. We're going to see what we can find here. Pete Manning is going to toss it quickly, and Ray Joseph makes another nice grab. Bianca Croning in motion is going to run out of bounds for reasons that remain only to college football 26, but Juju Johnson is going to make the catch over the middle and get us a first down. Pete Manning's going to hit Bianca Croning on the pop pass that we love and get us to the 23-yard line. Pete Manning is going to go down as our offensive line just couldn't hold up long enough for him. And we're going to be on a 2nd and 17. We're coming out here in an empty formation from the 30-yard line. Pete Manning's got the time, and he's going to hit Bianca Croning, who turns the corner, almost gets us to the first down. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 1. 3rd down and 1. Pete Manning is going to throw it over to the side, and Ray Joseph is there to snag it. Bianca is going to go in motion. No, that's Pierre Pete's going to get the ball and get us 9 yards. Empty formation. It's 3rd down and 2. You got a guy wide open on the left if Pete Manning wants to try that. But he doesn't. He throws it where we're covered. But Bianca Croning makes the contested catch in the end zone for the touchdown. And Bianca Croning continues his touchdown-making ways. And we're going to extend our lead to 35-14. Middle Tennessee's going to hit their guy over the middle for a big gain and get it all the way to the 40-yard line. From midfield, Middle Tennessee's got 3rd down and 12 to deal with. They're going to try to deal with it with a handoff, and it is going to work for them, as we did not expect it, and they gashed our defense. Middle Tennessee hits an RPO play, and they're going to get around our guys with some nice blocks and get it to the 19-yard line. 3rd down and 11. Middle Tennessee's an empty, and they're going to go with that big looping motion that they have. And we're going to see what we can do, and it's going to get a sack. Spider-Man gets in the backfield for a sack and flexes on him as he knows he made a very nice play there. So the defense bent a little bit, but we did not break as we only gave up a field goal to Middle Tennessee. And we're going to see what we can get here. It's going to be Pedro O'Toole for a 6-yard gain. With the clock winding down on the 3rd quarter, we have a 3rd down and 3. And Victor Snow's going to get himself open to get enough for the first down. We get stifled on 1st and 2nd down, so we're looking at a 3rd down and 10. Pete Manning's going to hit Victor Snow quickly on a slant, and Victor Snow is running away from their defense, and Victor Snow just had green grass in front of him to score another long touchdown for the Peteytown Piranhas. Our 2 transfer wide receivers are making a big difference in this game today, and just providing Pete Manning with the separation needed to make these completions, and they're just getting yards after the catch just in bunches right now. So, after that Victor Snow touchdown, we added another touchdown with Pete and a field goal, and we got the 52-17 win, which was relatively stress-free against Middle Tennessee. And there's Victor Snow running in that touchdown, but just very good effort today by the Peteytown Piranhas on the road. And in only the 6th game of the season so far, Bianca Croning has already set the single-season receiving touchdowns record for the Peteytown Piranhas. Of course, it's our 2nd year as a team, but it's really carrying over from Rutgers records because that's the team we took over. So, very nice job by Bianca Croning, and still got a lot of season left to add on to that. Our stats against Middle Tennessee were looking really nice. We had 546 yards to their 265. Running-wise, we had just under 100 yards, but passing-wise was really where we made our damage with 454 yards to their 196. We only had 1 3rd down that we didn't convert as we went 7 for 8, and they were 5 of 10. And then turnovers, we did have that 1 turnover after a few games of not committing any turnovers, but we were able to force 2. They were off screen because 1 happened on a kickoff at the end of the first half, but nothing came of that. And then Peter Cottontail got an interception in garbage time. Pete Manning had himself quite the day with 454 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Those 454 yards are the most that anybody for the Piranhas has thrown so far in a game, so very nice job by Pete. But he was also sacked 3 times, so don't really love to see it, but we'll take it in a game that he put together today. Pete had 11 carries for 83 yards. He didn't really start off very well, but as the game went on, he really started to put nice runs together. And he also had a touchdown in garbage time. And Juju Johnson chipped in with 6 carries and 32 yards. It was a really big day for our transfer wide receivers, as Victor Snow had 5 catches for 123 yards and 1 touchdown, while Ray Joseph had 6 catches for 103 yards and 1 touchdown. Bianca Croning was productive as usual with 6 catches, 78 yards, and 1 touchdown. And then you got touchdowns for Pedro O'Toole, Pete Ackler, and Pete Dinklage coming in with that 30-yard grab near the beginning of the game. Anthony Kaufman led the way on defense with 10 tackles and 5 tackles for a loss. For sacks, Petey McGee led the way with 2 sacks that really set the tone early, and Pete Mesquite came out of the slot cornerback position for 1.5 sacks. And you got 1 each for Spider-Man and Petruchio DeLucchio, and then Peter Latagoski and Charles Hardy had half a sack each. And I also mentioned that 1 interception by Peter Cottontail in garbage time. Petey Boy went 1 of 2 on field goal attempts with that 39-yarder that he made. He also missed the field goal attempt after we got that fumble off the kickoff near the end of the first half, so I just didn't show it because nothing really came of it. So while things are going well on the field for the Peteytown Piranhas, in recruiting there is some bad news. Penn State did indeed jump us for Gage Johnson, so looks like they're going to be able to secure that commitment from him. And then that playing style came back to bite us against Benji Tuau as he decided to go with Pitt. In better news, this athlete power rusher Jake Arkin is getting closer and closer to committing to us, but hopefully it happens before that Week 9 visit for Syracuse. Our next matchup will be a home game against New Mexico State, and we got a 12 overall advantage over them, so let's see if we can take care of some business here. New Mexico State got a gift for field position after stopping us on our first drive of the game, but now they're on a 3rd down and 9. And they're going to hit their guy, and he's going to be just short as Pete Millark brings him down. It's a manageable distance, so New Mexico State's going to try their luck on 4th down and inches. They're going to hit their guy in the backfield, and we just can't get off the block in time, and they're going to get the first down. New Mexico State's going to find their guy on a curl route, and he stopped right where he needed to for the first down. 2nd down and 3, and they're going to split right up the middle to get themselves to the 11-yard line. They're going to run it again and spin their way for a 7-yard gain. They're spreading us out here on 2nd down, and they're going to take advantage of it as their running back is going to fight his way into the end zone, and New Mexico State's going to take the 7-0 lead. Pete's going to get a run up the middle, and he's going to break a tackle, and they're going to push him forward for the first down. After a holding penalty, we're here on 2nd down and 15. We're just going to hand it off to Juju Johnson, and he finds a little lane to get 5 yards. 3rd down and 10 for the Piranhas. We're going to drop back and fire it, and it's going to depend on the spot. They're going to mark us just short on 4th and inches on the pass completion to Pete Ackler. Petey Previtt's going to go for it in this situation, and we're not going to get anywhere. They bust up our favorite play, and they just were all over it and gave us no chance to convert that one. After that unfortunate non-conversion for us on 4th down, New Mexico State's on a 3rd down and 7. We're sending heavy pressure, and it gets home as Anthony Kaufman's going to get the sack. And New Mexico State started with brilliant field position but couldn't do anything with it thanks to our defense. Juju Johnson's going to get the handoff, and he makes a nice juke move to make it 2nd down and inches. We're going to do a little option play, and Pete Manning's going to take it himself to get the first down. Handoff right up the middle for Pete, and he's got daylight, and he gets it all the way to their 34-yard line. Well executed blocking on that play, and Pete took advantage. Another handoff here for Pete, and he's found open space again and gets it to their 20-yard line. Pete goes in motion here, and we are going to find Pianka Croning. They just left our tight end open there as we confused them with a little motion, and Pianka Croning gets free for the touchdown. Brilliant sequence for the Piranhas as we're able to stop them in good field position. Then our offense regains their composure and gets in the end zone and ties this game up. And we're going to get a sack here as Peter Jack and Peter Latagoski combine for the sack. And that's going to put them on a 3rd down and 12. 3rd down and 12 after our pass rush got home. New Mexico State's going to go with the pass, of course. And they're going to launch it deep to see what they have. We're step for step, and their guy had their hands on it, but we knock it away. 2nd down and 6, and a quick fire over to Juju Johnson gets us what we need for the 1st down. Pete's going to get his turn here, and he's got some open space to work with, and he gets it all the way down to their 22-yard line. We're going to drop back to pass here. The protection just doesn't hold up as they bring in more guys than we had to block there. 3rd down and 17 for the Piranhas. Let's see what we can do with this. We're going to do a simple handoff to Pete, and he's got nowhere to go. Petey Boy is going to come out and attempt the field goal now. He puts it up, and it goes through the uprights, and we're going to go up 10-7 on New Mexico State. Back to pass now. He's going to step up and scramble and slide down for a short gain. From their 14-yard line, it's 3rd down and 7, a chance to get off the field here for the Piranhas, and we will do just that as we get the sack with Peter Latagoski and Peter Jack again combining for a sack. Those two have been terrorizing New Mexico State's quarterback. Pete's going to take the handoff up the middle, and he's just been very effective today. He's averaging over 10 yards a carry in the early going. 3rd down and 5. We got 3 receivers to the left of the formation. Pete Manning's going to drop back, and they're just going to get in there for the sack as our left tackle just couldn't keep him off our quarterback for long enough. Sacks have really been the name of the game for both teams so far in the early going, and Petey Boy is going to put up a field goal, and he sneaks it through to give us the 13-7 lead. New Mexico State comes out with play action, and they complete it to their guy. We had someone in coverage there, but their receiver manages to hold on to the ball. 3rd down and 6 for the Aggies here. They're trying to do some audibles, see if they can catch us off guard. And we're going to bring in some pressure, and the pressure gets home again. It's 4 sacks on the day. Peter Jack in there again. And he's just having a whale of a game so far. And the Peteytown Piranhas defense holds firm yet again. We're going to do the pop pass to Pianka Croning, and Pianka gets free, and they manage to bring him down. But just a brilliant play. Pete Manning surveyed what he had and made the right decision and layered that ball right over their defender. Little RPO action, and Pete's going to take the carry, and he's going to get a nice gain to the 7-yard line. Got a very heavy look here from the Piranhas. Pete Manning's going to fire, and we got Pianka Croning open in the end zone for another touchdown. And the brilliant season of Pianka Croning continues. And we're going to take a 20-7 lead against New Mexico State. The defense continues their great play with a 3-and-out forced on New Mexico State. And our offense is going to take over at the 46. And we're hitting Pianka Croning quickly. And Pianka Croning's just been unguardable today. Clock winding down, 2 timeouts left. Pete Manning's facing the pressure, and they're going to bring him down for a 6-yard loss. That sack on 1st down forces us to use our 2nd timeout, so we only got 1 remaining. Pete Manning's going to fire it quickly, and Victor Snow is there to make the catch. and he gets it within 3rd and 1. We're letting that clock run, but with the timeout, we can do whatever we want here, and we're going to choose to hit Juju Johnson out of the backfield for a nice gain. So some nice offense is going to lead to another field goal attempt for Petey Boy, who's been brilliant today. He's going to put it up, and he puts in another one to extend our lead to 23-7. Our defense got the stop to begin the second half, so our offense is taken over here with a 5-yard run by Pete. 3rd down and 5 for the Piranhas. We're going to send Pianka in motion, and he's going to run all the way to the sideline. And Pete Manning's going to throw and hit Ray Joseph, who is coming across the field, and he manages to get us a first down. Pete Manning does not have the time he needs this time, and New Mexico State's got 5 sacks, and we have 4 sacks, so that continues to be the story of the game, as the quarterbacks for both teams have been under immense pressure all game long. 3rd down and very long here. Pete Manning is going to find Juju Johnson, but he doesn't quite have enough. Petey Previtt's really looking to make a statement here now, and we're going to fire it quickly and convert with a nice pass to Pete Ackler. Couldn't get much going on 1st and 2nd down, so it's 3rd down and 7 for the Piranhas. We're going to run that play we like to run on these 3rd down situations. But Pete Manning's going to fire one deep, and it's caught! Pianka Croning makes the jumping catch, but it's going to be a flag on Pianka. They're going to call it illegal touching. He must have run out of bounds before catching the ball. Oh, that wipes away what would have been a brilliant catch by our tight end. After that unfortunate penalty on Pianka, New Mexico State's going to get a first down here. A screen pass here to their wide receiver, and the blocks line up, and he scoots his way to the 42-yard line. New Mexico State's going to go down for a loss as Pete Malark is in on that stop. 3rd and 12 for New Mexico State. They're going to try another screen pass, but Petruchio DeLucchio says we've seen that so many times, and he goes over there to make the stop. New Mexico State stops our offense in its tracks, but now they're looking at a 3rd down and 2 from the 28-yard line. They're going to do a handoff and split our defense and spin our guy out, and they're going to get to the 40-yard line. And they're going to split our defense again as their blocking is lining up. Peter Cottontail with a big hit at the end of that, but not before they get to the 32-yard line. So we enter the 4th quarter now. New Mexico State is down 2 possessions, and their running game is really getting them into a flow on this drive as they're going to bust it all the way down to our 15-yard line. Their hurry-up is really confusing our alignment right now as we got linebackers on the defensive line, but it didn't matter on that play as Pete Mesquite cleaned it up for a 2-yard loss.
2nd down, they'll go to the air.
They're going to find their guy, and he doesn't quite get around us, but he still gets to 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1 in desperation time for New Mexico State. They're going to find their guy on a quick slant, and he's going to walk into the end zone for the touchdown. Very important 2-point conversion here. Can either make it a 1-possession game, or we can keep it at a 2-possession game, depending on what happens here. We're going to drop back. We're going to get the pressure in it. Throws a wobbler, but we managed to keep him out. That pressure made it an inaccurate pass, and it brought their receiver out of the end zone. So it's going to be a 10-point game. Pete Manning's going to hit Pianka Croning quickly, and we're going to get the first down. Pete's got the gap he needs. He makes a juke move, and he gets out of there. He makes another juke move, but can't quite beat their safety there, but still a brilliant run from our running back there. Pete Manning looks at what he's got, and he can't look anymore because he's going down yet again. So very important 3rd down and 9 here. Pete Manning's going to drop back. Their pressure just comes right around our right tackle there, and our offensive line is kind of in shambles at the moment. So our lack of pass protection is really hurting us now, as New Mexico State's getting a little momentum and their running back is juking. Their running back has been the cog that has brought them back into this game. Brilliant drive running last time, and he gets them a first down here. The Aggies had their struggles on the first 2 downs. 3rd down and 9, and he overthrows their guy. He was open, but he missed him. That incompletion leads to 4th down and 9. We're going to get in, almost got some pressure in, but we're going to knock it away. Peter Lightning just with airtight coverage there. 3rd down and 6 for the Piranhas. They're sending pressure, and our quarterback gets it to Ray Joseph, who gets free, and they manage to bring him down. But a nice read by our quarterback and nice route running by Ray Joseph, and we're going to get the ball inside their 5-yard line. Well, not quite inside their 5-yard line. We're at the 6-yard line now. And Pete says that doesn't matter. The extra yard doesn't matter because I'm going to walk into the end zone for the touchdown to extend this lead to 30-13 with just under 6 minutes left.
Nice little zone, and they pick up the first.
And there's a brilliant interception by our defense. And that's Peter Cottontail making the interception. And any slim hopes New Mexico State had at a comeback are probably going to die with that play by our strong safety.
Kevin, what do you got?
Dynamite matchup this week in the American fellas. Let's show you what's going down. UAB is in front. They've controlled.
So the Piranhas recover that onside kick after New Mexico State punched in a late touchdown. And we're going to kneel on it to secure our 30-20 victory over New Mexico State. Really nice job by the offense, and Pete had a brilliant game, as you can see, and very pleased with how our guys played today. So I don't really think this game was as close as the final score indicated, but looking at the stats, it was a little closer than I was thinking. You had 392 yards for us to their 320. They also had 114 rushing yards, while we got 147. Passing-wise, they had 206 to our 245, and 3rd down was a struggle for both teams, especially with the pass rushing being so brilliant for both sides. They had 6 for 15 on 3rd down, while we were 3 for 11, which is very below our standards. And we all saw that Peter Cottontail interception that effectively ended it and ended any kind of comeback attempt for them. Pete Manning, nothing spectacular, but very efficient. He had 245 for 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Of course, the biggest problem was the 8 sacks that we gave up. But when he was able to get rid of the ball, he completed the passes at a 92% clip. Rushing, Pete was our player of the game with 20 carries and 157 yards and 1 touchdown. Bianca Croning starred again for us with 5 catches for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. While Ray Joseph had that big catch that helped us really seal this one with 2 catches and 51 yards. And look at our guy, Pete Mesquite. He had 17 tackles on the game with 1 tackle for a loss, while Pete Malark added 11 tackles and 2 tackles for a loss. And Peter Cottontail contributed with 10 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, and that interception. The defense got 4 sacks in this one, with 1.5 by Anthony Kaufman and Peter Jack, while Peter Ladagoski got the other sack. Petey Boy was finishing our drives well with 3 field goals made with a long of 47. We got some more recruits coming in with 3-star left edge Thomas Caver. And it's official that we lost out on Gage Johnson to Penn State, and we also lost Chester McNabb to Penn State. Following that win to New Mexico State, you can see that we've cracked the top 20 in the country, and now we're set to face off against Delaware, and it's quite a significant disparity in overall, so hopefully we're able to take care of business here and not have any loss in focus. After a nice stop by the defense, our offense is near midfield on 3rd down and 4, and Ray Joseph gets open for the first down. Pete's going to go up the middle, and he gets a nice burst of acceleration for 9 yards. Pete Ackler is going to take the RPO bubble screen and get himself first down yardage. 3rd down and 2 just outside their red zone. Pete Manning tosses it over, and we're going to get the first down with Juju Johnson.
They're threatening to score, and they'll throw it.
Pete Manning's going to find Pianka Croning in a crowd, and Pianka punches it into the end zone just barely and salutes the crowd and saying, "I'm here and I'm ready to score touchdowns." Blue Hens are going to set up a screen here. They get the blocks they need, and Peter Cottontail runs him down after an 8-yard gain. On the read option, their quarterback just fights his way through to get the first down. Their running back gets around the edge, and Anthony Kaufman and Peter Cottontail combine after a 9-yard gain. We bring in pressure, and we get the strip sack, and Pete Millark knocks it free, and Peter Jack falls on the fumble, and we're going to get the turnover from Delaware. Ray Joseph takes a slant for the first down. And Pete Ackler makes the nice catch on the slant from Pete Manning. Pete's got the first down and a couple yards after that. Pete Manning's dropping back, and he's got Pete wide open over the middle of the field, and our running back can walk into the end zone, and we're going to have a 2-touchdown lead to start the second quarter. Delaware's going to find their guy over the middle of the field, and we give up a big chunk play that time. Their running back is wide open in the flat, and he takes it for a chunk play. After moving the ball a little bit, Delaware is looking at a 3rd down and 9. He's got time, and he finds his guy. He tries a spin move, but we're not falling for it. It's 4th down and 2 for Delaware. They're going to try the speed option. He gets the pitch out at the last second, but Peter Lightning brings him down, and we're going to turn him over on downs. Pete's going to get the blocking for a 9-yard gain. And that's going to be, looks like Pianka for the nice gain. Pete Manning's feeling in rhythm now. He's going to toss a dart over to Pianka Croning, and we get it to their 41-yard line. On 3rd down and 4, we're really spreading them out wide here. Pete Manning's going to look. He's going to find Ray Joseph, who gets himself free, and he's going to get it into their red zone. Heavy eye formation as we're knocking on the door. Juju Johnson gets caught a little bit, but he fights his way for the first down. First down and goal. We're going to toss it over to Pianka. He gets the block from Victor Snow, and he's going to waltz into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the game. The defense makes a nice stop on Delaware, so our offense is taken over at the 25-yard line. Pete Manning's going to try a deep ball. He's got Pianka, who makes the catch right by the sideline. 3rd down and 6 with just over a minute and a half left in the first half. Pete Manning's going to drop back, throw it over there to Pete Ackler, who can't manage to stay in bounds. Delaware is just trying to put something on the board before the end of the first half. And they're going to try a big pass there, and he throws a strike in the middle of our defense. Blue Hens are throwing it, and they find another spot in the middle of our zones that we just can't stop right now. Quick toss over to their halfback, and they manage to get a few yards out of that. Delaware manages to get the ball in a place where they think their field goal kicker can add something here. He's going to put the kick up, and he does put it through the upright, so Delaware does put up a field goal before the end of the first half. So we get some good yardage on some plays, and Ray Joseph gets free. He's running. Can they catch him? They cannot catch him. Ray Joseph finds the soft spot in the defense, and then he uses his speed to pull away, and now we're up 28-3 on the Delaware Blue Hens. Well, we're off to an extremely strong start here in the second half, and Delaware is going to go with an RPO for a 9-yard gain. RPO screen, and Peter Eris is there for the stop, but they do manage to get the first down. Power read play, and it's a fumble, but Delaware picks it up. After that near fumble on first down, we're here on 3rd down and 2. They're going to go with a read option play, and their quarterback just sneaks it over the first down marker. Delaware is going to find Peter Latagowski right in their quarterback's face as he makes the sack, and he just absolutely outmanned the offensive lineman there. Their quarterback had absolutely no chance on that one. 3rd down and 15 for Delaware. They're just going to dump it off, and Peter Latagowski was out in coverage, and he makes the stop. 3rd down and 6. We're coming out in an empty formation. Pete Manning's going to fire it over to Victor Snow, who makes the grab and gets it to the 42-yard line. Bianca Croning's going to get some blocks out there, and that's enough to get us another first down. A couple of Pete runs ends up getting us 3 yards. So on 3rd down and 7, we're going to drop back. Pete Manning's going to fire, and he's going to find Victor Snow, who makes the jumping grab.
Looking downfield on first down.
Pete Manning finds Victor Snow again, who's been active here. 2nd down and goal. Pete's going to take it. He's going to spin and get us to the 2-yard line. 3rd down and goal with a chance to go up by a big number. It's a direct snap to Pete, and he gets into the end zone, and that's going to give us a 35-3 lead. Well, the Peteytown Piranhas are going to come out of here with a 49-3 win after the 4th quarter featured 2 big touchdown runs from Pete A. Caruso as I had the backups come in, and just an overall dominant performance from the Peteytown Piranhas. There's Pete A. Caruso running in his 2nd touchdown of the game. So this game was really no contest as we had 510 yards to their 242. We also added 180 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns to their 39 total rushing yards. And then passing the ball, we had 330 yards to their 203. And 3rd down conversions, we had 9 of 10 while they were 2 of 9. And then turnovers, we did have 1 turnover, but we forced 2 on them. Pete Manning had a great day with 285 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and very nicely, we did not give up a sack. And he had another game with 92% completion percentage. And our backup quarterback, Pedro Jarvis, got some action in that 4th quarter. He had 45 yards, but threw an interception. And Pete A. Caruso came in that 4th quarter with the backups and was absolutely brilliant with 8 carries, 107 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then Pete had his 13 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. Ray Joseph was very good in this one with 5 catches and 109 yards and 1 touchdown, while Bianca Croning had 6 catches for 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. And we can't forget Pete adding a receiving touchdown to go with 2 catches and 17 yards. For tackles, we had Pete Marks lead the way with 9. Peter Latagowski continued his sacking ways with 1.5, while Pete Malark, Peter Parker, Devin Peters all had 1 sack, and then Petey McGee added half a sack. And in that 4th quarter, Peteytown Glenn had 1 interception that he was able to jump for, and he was all over their wide receivers, so nice job by Peteytown. More recruiting news as we got 4-star right edge Jake Arkin to join the defensive side of the ball. So apparently the polls didn't like our win to Delaware as they dropped us down to number 22 in the country. But for our next episode, we'll see how far we get. It depends on how the games go, but we're going to be continuing some Conference USA play and facing Fresno State, so we'll see if we get all the way to the end of the regular season or what we have in store, but we'll get there when we get there. I'll see you guys in the next video.